You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
This tropical disturbance could wipe out your weekend holiday plans. First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi has the timeline for a possible arrival on the Suncoast.
And if you are hitting the road for the holiday weekend, prepare to pay big at the pump. The rising price of gas coming up.
And Memorial Day kicks off pool season. The hazards you need to know about to keep the fun from turning dangerous. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, May 24th, Thursday. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Let's get right to it. Two very important words this morning. Tropical depression. Right, John Scalzi?
No, it's not a tropical depression quite yet.
You said it was.
Sorry, no, it's a tropical disturbance. Disturbance is the word, right. We don't have a depression yet. And I want to be very clear because I know a lot of people last year, they went through Irma. And, even me, I say word tropical and the hair on my arm starts to stand up a little bit. This is nothing like what we saw last year. We are not looking at, evacuations or boarding up your, nothing like that. This is a rainmaker, and we could get a rainy weekend. At least one day will probably feature some fairly heavy rainfall. It has not even formed yet, so to give you an exact idea of where it's heading and its exact motion through the Gulf waters is pretty tough to do because until it forms, we can't really isolate exactly what its track will be. Because if it forms just 50, 60 miles to the east, it's going to have a major impact on its track once it's in the northern Gulf waters. So it's a wait and see kind of thing. But one thing we can tell you is that moisture plume is returning to the Suncoast today. Hurricane Center gives us a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days, so that's a pretty good chance that we'll see some sort of development, either into a depression or perhaps even a tropical storm. Could it be Alberto? It could. Wouldn't be shocked by the time we get to Saturday to see it become a tropical storm, probably up around the northern Gulf Coast. One thing is for sure, it's plume of tropical moisture, that atmospheric river that we have been talking about for days that's providing us with that good chance of rain showers has returned today. Kind of went away a little bit yesterday, moved out into the Atlantic, and so we had a break in the rains, but we will see those rain showers return. You can already see some of the heavier rains associated with the system moving over Cuba right now, and they're really not seeing the showers down toward Belize, but they're there. You just can't see them with our Key West radars. As far as our area goes, morning commute looks fine. Don't see any problems here. Our temperatures are generally in the low 70s, kind of a warm, steamy, sticky start to the day. And the computer models continue to push the system a little bit further to the west. And we'll talk about what the implication of that is for our weekend rainfall totals coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Here's a live look at the scene right now at US 301 and State Road 70. This is the spot that usually gets very congested during the morning commute right now. Free and clear at 5:03. We'll check back throughout the morning here on ABC 7. Here are the maps. First off, in Manatee County, we do have an issue to report not too far from where our live camera is. 9th Street, the lane is blocked at 57th Avenue. Be aware of that if you live in that vicinity. Let's check farther south down the maps, the upper half of Sarasota County. Checking all clear. However, I can tell you firsthand, the 301 area at 41 is closed at 301 while they tar the road. So right by the car dealership on 301 at 41, avoid that for now. They probably wrap up around 6 a.m. Let's check farther south down the maps. We'll find no delays to report at 5:03 on your Thursday morning.
Well, leave those backpacks at home. That's a message today to students from the Manatee County School District this morning.
The mandate was ordered even before a student at Bayshore High School brought a loaded weapon to campus on Tuesday. Marla Spence is live at Bayshore High School with details of this new backpack plan. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Tuesday's incident only serves to reinforce the backpack ban that was already planned and in place for the last few days of the school year. Now, Bayshore High School actually implemented the ban yesterday, a day early after police arrested a 10th grader with a loaded handgun tucked in his waistband. The no backpack rule was already ordered for the last 3 days of school, today and tomorrow and also Tuesday. Those days are all early release, and the Manatee County School District is being extra cautious to keep students out of trouble. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you what other measures, security measures, the Manatee County School District is doing to make sure each student within the district is safe. Reporting live at Bayshore High School, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Happening today, it is a topic that's on just about everyone's mind these days: how to stop gun violence. Sarasota police are holding a meeting tonight to talk about the recent shootings in Newtown, and they want your input. It's open to the public tonight from 6:30 until 8, and it's taking place at the Robert L. Taylor Complex. And switching gears, Milwaukee police have now released the body camera video of the arrest and tasing of NBA player Sterling Brown. Jim Rowbottom has a story.
Taser! Taser! Taser!
The police report says the Milwaukee Bucks rookie got confrontational over an alleged parking violation on January 26th, prompting officers to tase and arrest him. The police chief addressed the media Wednesday.
Our department conducted an investigation into the incident, which revealed members acted inappropriately, and those members were recently disciplined. I'm sorry this incident escalated to this level.
Milwaukee's mayor agrees.
Mr. Brown deserves an apology, and I am very sorry the Milwaukee police treated him in the fashion he was treated. As a human being, I am offended by what I saw on the video. As mayor, I am committed to improving police-community relations.
Use of force expert Bob Willis says a lot of things led to the tasing.
I would look at this and say it just never started right. To me, as a trainer and a police officer, the biggest thing to me was more the verbal exchanges in the beginning.
I'm Jim Rowbottom reporting.
Back in this area, the Sarasota County School District is moving forward with creating its own police force. However, the sheriff is moving in his own direction when it comes to school safety. Sheriff Tom Knight is hiring 14 school resource deputies, or what he calls SRD2s. He believes it's in the best interest to continue recruiting these deputies in case the school district changes its mind or in case local charter schools need resource deputies. In the meantime, the school district has already posted positions for a new police chief, command staff, and officers. The district is confident the new department will be ready before the start of the school year in August. Here's the school superintendent.
The SRD2s and our school resource officers are relatively similar positions. They both worked 180 days of school, or hired specifically with that mission. I believe our compensation is very close. And so I'm completely confident we'll be hiring our own individuals to staff our department.
According to the sheriff's office, it's unknown what these deputies will do if they're not needed in the schools.
Well, this morning, Manatee County Sheriff's deputies are searching for a man who escaped from the Suncoast Behavioral Health Facility in Bradenton. According to the Sheriff's Office, Darren Justice, who you're seeing right here, was being held under the Baker Act, but ran away during the intake process. Now, if you have any information, contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Now, with the Memorial Day and the start of summer just around the corner, a reminder about pool safety and potential electrical danger when it comes to those pools as well, even in around your hot tub and around your boat. Electric shock drowning happens when bad wiring sends an electrical current into the water. Now, that current can then pass through your body and cause paralysis and even possibly drowning. So here are some tips from swimmers from the National Fire Protection Association. First, never swim near a marina, a dock, or near a boat while it's running. Make sure that the lights around your pool or your hot tub are working properly. Make sure they're not flickering. That's a big sign. Now, if you feel any kind of tingling sensation when you get into a pool or a hot tub, get out. Also, avoid using metal ladders or rays.
While you're making your weekend plans, FHP is planning a new DUI wolf pack. Yeah, checkpoints will be in place 9 p.m. Friday to 5 a.m. Saturday. The operation will focus on I-75 and major state and county roads in Sarasota, Manatee, DeSoto, Hardee, and Highlands counties. If you see an impaired driver, just call 347. That's star 347 to reach FHP.
And speaking of the holiday weekend, travel is expected to be up by about 5% this season. AAA says more than 2 million Floridians are expected to travel for this long holiday weekend. Now, they predict that almost 90% of travelers will drive. And 100% of those drivers will unfortunately find gas prices at some of the highest levels in almost 4 years. The national average is right about $3 a gallon right now. Now in Sarasota, we haven't reached that gas price just yet. According to Gas Buddy, the average price of regular gas here is still around $2.89 a gallon. Now the lowest can be found at $2.70 a gallon. Now the lowest price of course overall is around $2.72 a gallon.
Our peak travel days are expected to be Thursday and Friday, and you combine that with the folks that are still working. We advise people to plan your travels to avoid major metropolitan areas during the rush hour.
Well, some good news. While gas prices are up, the cost of airfare, rental cars, and hotel rooms are all down this year. The most popular Memorial Day travel destination for 2018? Orlando.
Happening now, FHP is keeping a close eye on PEDS, which stands for Pedestrian Education and Developing Safety, PEDS. This is taking place right now as we speak until 9 a.m. around 14th Street West and Bayshore Gardens in Manatee County. The purpose is to decrease the amount of injuries and deaths by focusing on areas prone to pedestrian and bicycle crashes.
Happening today, the Salvation Army is hosting a hurricane party, and you are invited. The theme? Food, friends, and being prepared. They've got tips, they've got some helpful updates, and all the resources that you need to be ready for the start of the new season. It's taking place this morning at 11 at the Salvation Army Center on 24th Street in Bradenton.
Still ahead of Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump says Spygate is the political scandal to end all scandals, how Washington is reacting to his accusations against the FBI.
And coming up a little later in the hour, residents in Hawaii speaking out today about some of the dangers that they are still facing right there on the Big Island. But first, we've got some weather that is headed this way this holiday weekend, right, John Scalzi?
That video looks like another planet, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, just amazing. So we have for today increased rain chances over yesterday. We had a chance to dry out yesterday, which is great because we're going to get some rainfall over the weekend, and some of it could be heavy at times, could be a little bit breezy. Tides could be elevated just a tad. 72 degrees by 7 a.m., a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of sunshine to start the day off. By 12 noon, about a 20% chance of rain as we head into 3. About a 60% chance of more storminess around this afternoon. Rain box is checked, not for the drive to work, but the drive coming back from work. We'll have a few storms around then. All the airport hubs serving the FAA running on time, or serving the international airport, according to the FAA, running on time. We'll be right back.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps, or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So let's walk it through here the day. It's going to be warm. We'll have more clouds around by afternoon and better rain chances as well. Didn't have a whole lot of activity yesterday. Got a few small showers here and there, but we really didn't get the big thunderstorm activity. And I think maybe even thunderstorms today might be few and far between, but certainly some heavier showers are possible. By 7 a.m., 72 degrees as we head into the afternoon. Our temperatures will rise up into the upper 80s once again. Under the influence of a little bit of sunshine, we'll catch a bit of a sea breeze near the coastline. The sea breeze will cause the showers and thunderstorms, what few thunderstorms there will be, to build in mostly inland areas and then drift toward the coast. We'll have about a 60% chance of that happening, which will continue on into the drive time hour with about a 50% chance. As temperatures begin to fall off, so too will the number of storms we have. We're looking at the futurecast right now, and as we put it into motion, you'll notice a few scattered showers coming up from the south by the time we hit lunchtime. They'll build along that sea breeze by 3 o'clock, and then we'll watch them drift toward the coastline, a few of them, as we head into the evening hours. And there'll still be a few good storms around. In fact, I think, like yesterday, we'll probably see the majority of the rain falling late in the afternoon. Around drive time home, actually, the heaviest of the storms. And then everything kind of falls apart overnight. And then tomorrow, once again, another round of showers and thunderstorms building comes our way. And the rain chance tomorrow, still pretty good. So we'll continue watching because by Saturday, we have a chance of seeing some heavier storms move around. You saw that on the last few frames of our futurecast. Titan radar right now, quiet. But of course, all eyes are focused on the tropics and what's going to be happening down there. All of the computer models continue to suggest the system will develop, lift into Gulf waters, produce some pretty good storminess, but that most of the heavy weather will be located out in the central Gulf waters heading up toward the northern Gulf Coast. Louisiana Delta back through Alabama and into perhaps areas of the Florida Panhandle. But we'll still get a few of the wraparound showers into our area just in time for the Memorial Day holiday. Let's take a worst case scenario. I think our seas might be a little bit rough on Saturday. We might see tides maybe a foot higher than normal. We'll probably see a few good showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two move past that could produce some fairly heavy rainfall. And we'll see perhaps some gustier winds, wind gusts up to maybe 25, 30 miles per hour. Some gusts, that's pretty significant. But the heaviest weather should remain offshore. Warm with a better chance of rainfall today. We'll be watching the tropics to see how that develops, and then the weekend forecast remains wet. Spaghetti Plop is kind of focusing now on areas of the northern Gulf Coast with our more reliable models. The Icon, the Canadian, the European models all point to that. We still have a couple of outliers in the American model, but I'm beginning to trust these less and trust these more because that's where the consensus of computer model opinion has been focused, and that's this area shaded in red is where I think it will occur. Let's take two scenarios in terms of our rainfall that we might see. The European model puts our rainfall closer to the coastline and gives us perhaps 4 to 7 inches over a 4-day period, which is okay. We could handle that, but it certainly would cause some rivers to start to fill up. And then the heaviest of the rain located up around the northern Gulf Coast. If we went with the European model, we'd probably get a little more wind around here and heavier rain in the southern tip of the state. Southeast wind coming in at about 5 knots today. Not a bad day for boating, and the forecast looks like this. 87 today, 60% chance of rain. Tomorrow, about a 60% chance of rain. Then Saturday, I'm going to call the first alert weather day. Could be some little bit gustier winds around. Not a great boating day. Showers off and on in waves throughout the day, kind of a rain out sort of day. And then Saturday, maybe we'll start to see a little bit more sunshine on Sunday. And then on Monday, a good chance of seeing some showers around as well as we start the next work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look over at First Alert Traffic. We do have one big incident to tell you about right there in Manatee County on 9th Street. There's a lane blocked right there at 57th Avenue. Again, on 9th Street in Manatee County, there's a lane blocked at 57th Avenue. Also in Manatee County, Talavest Road, there's an accident right there at 301. Again, Talavest Road and 301 in Manatee County. Moving down into Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad so far this morning. If we can advance that map farther down a little bit, we're starting to see some slowdowns that we've been seeing all week right there on 41 as it goes by the Bayshore, which is pretty typical around this time in the morning. But everything so far in Sarasota looks pretty decent. If you're headed south on 75 or 41, both of those are running pretty smooth this morning. 520, that's your First Alert Traffic.
Well, today, not one, but two high-profile meetings on tap in Washington about President Trump's allegations of spying inside his 2016 campaign. ABC's Kenneth Moten has our preview.
If it were a spy novel, it appears President Trump would be the author.
A lot of bad things have happened. We now call it Spygate.
With no apparent proof, President Trump has gone all in on his claim that the FBI and the Justice Department planted spies in his 2016 campaign.
It looks like a very serious event. I hope it's not true, but it looks like it is.
On Twitter, the president called the alleged conspiracy one of the biggest scandals in history, carried out by a, quote, criminal deep state, a spy put there by the previous administration for political purposes.
President Obama? After we look at the proof, would he know? I would certainly hope not, but I think it's going to be pretty obvious after a while.
The president also claimed Obama Director of National Intelligence James Clapper admitted on ABC's The View to having spies in the campaign, but that's not what Clapper said.
Was the FBI spying on Trump's campaign?
No, they were not. They were spying on a term I don't particularly like, but on what the Russians were doing.
Today, the Justice Department will hold two highly classified intelligence briefings on the FBI's Russia investigation. The first meeting, initially planned by the White House, Republican only.
No one should trust anything they say coming out of that meeting. It will be a sham.
Democrats fought for and will now be part of a second briefing, a bipartisan group of House and Senate leaders known as the Gang of Eight. President Trump says he's not trying to undercut the Russia investigation, and what he's doing is a service to the country. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
All right, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast. After all these years, Fruit Loops are finally getting a new flavor. We're going to tell you what it's going to be next.
Suspense. And why President Trump is no longer allowed to block users of his Twitter account.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why is
heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
All right, crew, let's get started. Kurt?
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
All right, so do you love your morning bowl of Fruit Loops, but you felt that something has just been missing all these years? Well, the wait is over. Kellogg's is finally adding a new flavor, and it is wild berry. That's right, Ray. It's going to be in the form of a purple star that will be added to the Fruit Loops, red, blue, and of course those green rings. Now, surprisingly, cereal sales have actually been going down over the past few years. More people are ditching those sugar cereals and choosing some healthier options in the morning, like protein bars and yogurt.
Imagine that board meeting.
All right.
Let's go with purple.
New flavor, new flavor. Well, moving on, the president can no longer block people he doesn't like on his Twitter account.
The reason in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Twitter users exiled by President Trump may soon get a reprieve.
A federal judge has ruled the president cannot block people from his Twitter account because they disagree with him politically. The Department of Justice, however, says they disagree with the decision and are considering their next steps. Apple is teaming up with Volkswagen to create some self-driving vehicles.
Reports say Apple's going to equip a fleet of VW vans with its self-driving technology. The vans will be used to shuttle Apple employees from place to place. Tinder is finding new ways to connect people.
Get this, the dating app is testing Tinder Places. The feature will connect potential dates based on locations. For instance, the app will send users a potential match if they both frequent the same restaurant, coffee shop, theater, and various other locations.
Hope you don't frequent somewhere you're embarrassed about.
Yeah, not creepy at all. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams Paint.
From your home to your whole community, ask Sherwin-Williams during our National Painting Week sale. From May 25th through June 4th, get 30% off paints and stains. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store today.
Allergies with sinus congestion and pressure? You won't find relief here. Go to the pharmacy counter for powerful Claritin D. While the leading allergy spray relieves 6 symptoms, Claritin D relieves 8, including sinus congestion and pressure. Claritin D relieves more.
Looking for a hotel that fits your budget? TripAdvisor now searches over 200 sites to find you the hotel you want at the lowest price. Grazie, Gino. Find a price that fits. TripAdvisor.
It's Macy's Memorial Day sale. Take an extra 20% off with your Macy's Card or Savings Pass. Now at Macy's.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
This morning, a tropical disturbance is churning in the Gulf and could be headed for the Suncoast. First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi has the latest information.
Plus, schools in Manatee County are taking extra precautions for these last few days of school, while some students say the safety measures are making them late for class.
The Kilauea volcano spews out new dangers every day. We'll tell you what the people who live nearby are dealing with today.
And with hurricane season just days away, why meteorologists say this year might be more active than last. We have those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning to you. It is 5:30 on this Thursday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. First, here's the star of the show, John Scalzi.
Oh, I don't know. I think people don't want to hear about tropics right now, but unfortunately, that's exactly what we got to do. We have a little bit of a disturbance that sits down in the Caribbean, and it's gradually forecast to lift north and emerge into Gulf waters as we head into the weekend. Once it does that, it is forecast to develop perhaps into a tropical or subtropical depression, eventually maybe even into a tropical storm. It would be called Alberto if it did that, and most likely head up toward the northern Gulf waters. As it did that, it'll probably spin back some showers into our area just in time for our Memorial Day weekend. So, Alberto, 70% chance of developing possibly in the next 5 days. Will it be Alberto? We still don't know yet. But what we do know is that today, the river of atmospheric moisture associated with the tropics that has brought us our rainfall is now moving back over the state of Florida, and our rain chances are going up from where they were yesterday. Our rainfall forecast calls for better rain chances today at about a 60% chance. And then as we head into the weekend, I think our rain chances go up much faster, and the potential exists for some heavier rain. We'll talk about that coming up in a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. There's the situation right now at 301 and State Road 70. As you see, there's a lot of traffic for 5:32 a.m. That's the intersection right there, 301 State Road 70. We'll check back on that throughout the morning. But first, let's go to the maps and find out ongoing issue there. We'll click on that for more information about the situation not too far from 70 and 301. Or not. There's also something else there farther south on 301. All right, that first one is 9th Street, a lane blocked at 57th Avenue. So be aware of that if you're traveling in that area. Also, Talavas Road, an accident at 301. That's a busy spot there. Talavas and 301, there's a light there. And now there's an accident there as well. So you might want to take 41 to avoid that area. Farther south now into the northern half of Sarasota County. The Bayfront still looking quite congested as you head southbound. Also a little blip there, way out there by Moat Marine as well. That'll clear up though for sure. And South County all clear right now at 5:33.
All right, moving on. This morning, the Manatee County School District is taking extra steps to keep students safe in these last few days of school.
For the last 3 days of school, students are not allowed to bring their backpacks. Now, the backpack ban was already planned for today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, but Bayshore High School plugged in the plan a day early after a student was arrested Tuesday after he brought a loaded gun to school. Marla Spence is live at Bayshore High with details of other security measures as well as students head to school this morning.
Good morning, guys. When students arrive to schools across Manatee County, they can expect to see more security measures in place to make sure they're safe. Now, a loaded handgun on Bayshore High School's campus on Tuesday is prompting the Manatee County School District to enforce new security rules. Starting today, all Manatee County middle and high schools will have random metal detector screenings in addition to not being able to wear backpacks. Now, the no backpack ban was already ordered for the last 3 days of school today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Those days are all early release, and the Manatee County School District is being extra cautious to keep students out of trouble.
We're ramping up security measures, and we take those kind of increased precautions if events warrant it.
And as of yesterday, all students at Bayshore High School walked through metal detectors as they entered into the school grounds. This is to ensure student safety and to make sure something like what happened on Tuesday doesn't happen within the last 3 days of school this year. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Speaking of students, new recommendations are out from the National Transportation Safety Board to make school buses safer. The announcement comes in the wake of several deadly crashes, including a fatal crash in New Jersey last week and another one yesterday in Wisconsin. This crash test video shows what it's like inside a bus without belts, crash dummies flying around on impact. NTSB is now suggesting all school buses have both lap and shoulder seat belts.
This will be a historic day. We have tiptoed around that for a long time, and it's time to take a hard stance on this.
The new stricter guidelines say even states that require some form of lap seatbelt, like Florida, are not enough. The NTSB calls on those states to add shoulder belts as well as automatic braking and electronic stability control. Santa Fe, Texas will say goodbye today to several victims of last week's school shooting. Friends and family filled a football stadium yesterday for another gathering. Teachers and first responders were among the crowd at the Night of Hope and Healing organized by a local church there. They sang, they prayed, and they comforted each other as they expressed their grief. 10 people were killed last week and 13 injured when a student allegedly opened fire at the high school. Students will return to class next week to finish up this school year.
Well, the Kilauea volcano on Hawaii's Big Island shows no signs of letting up today. One Leilani Estates resident says her family hasn't been able to live at home since the volcanic activity began earlier this month. Now, she says while they're lucky lava hasn't reached their property yet, today they're dealing with a different kind of danger.
With all the tremors and the earthquakes, it started to create cracks, which started off as little cracks, grew over time. We could actually see the bottom when the crack first started. Now when we look in, we can't even see the bottom of the crack. It's so scary.
Now, another resident hasn't seen her home since the eruption started. She says her neighbor saw the destruction on her property off of a certain road from an aerial view, actually from a helicopter there.
He told us that he was pretty much positive that the cabin was gone and that most of our property, probably 3/4 of it, was covered in lava. You're constantly, watching the news and looking at pictures and videos and trying to figure out if it's there. It's awful.
I can't even imagine hearing that. She also went on to say that they're actually in the process of buying a new home in a different area of the island.
Healthcare workers are passing out experimental Ebola vaccines in a major city in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right in Central Africa. The city of Medaka, home to 1 million people, they're the first to receive this vaccine. Experts are concerned the virus could spread faster than expected. So far, 26 people have died in this outbreak.
Well, the start of hurricane season is just a week away. Mary Maloney has more on what you need to know in today's Consumer Watch.
We saw one of the most active hurricane seasons on record last year, with 6 major hurricanes, 3 of which caused catastrophic damage in the mainland U.S., Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean. And as the 2018 season is approaching, researchers at Colorado State University are predicting another busy season with 14 named storms, including 7 hurricanes. So if you're in a coastal area this hurricane season, here's a few things to keep in mind. Storm surge can be a huge threat to coastal communities, and according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is the leading cause of hurricane-related deaths in the U.S., followed by flooding. If you're planning a beach holiday, be mindful of rip currents and beach erosion, and stay off the roads as much as possible. High winds can cause flying debris and structural damages. Hurricane season begins June 1st and ends November 30th, with a spike in activity in early to mid-September. I'm Mary Maloney.
Well, a new kind of circus is coming here to the Suncoast. Now, you may have already seen its big black and red circus tent. It's up now on 41 in Palmetto, along with a hearse covered in skeletons. I already love this thing. It's all part of a new circus that's opening in June from the creators of Cirque Italia. And it is reported to be unlike any other circus that you've seen. The creator says the Paranormal Cirque offers audiences something a little more supernatural and is not for the faint of heart.
This is not the normal haunting house. This is the castle of paranormal. Yeah, one shot, first shot in the United States, here in Palmetto.
I love that. Opening night is on June 7th. It'll be there through the 17th before it moves on to Ocala. Now, the show is designed, you should know this, for grown-up audiences, Ray.
Oh, well.
Children under 18 are not allowed without parental consent.
Still ahead, another day, another big gator where this one was found, a 300-pounder as well. 5:40 right now. Well, more of Good Morning Suncoast after this. Stay with us.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. It's gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. Meteorologist John Scalzi.
So taking it hour by hour through the day today, we have a temperature of about 72 degrees by 7 a.m. and really not much of a rain chance. So morning commute again today should remain relatively dry. 20% chance as we head into the noontime hour. We'll start to see a sea breeze build. The sea breeze, combined with a little extra moisture around today, is going to help trigger off showers and thunderstorms, building in inland areas first, with about a 60% chance of seeing coverage in inland areas, followed by those showers gradually trying to drift back toward the coastline. We'll go with about a 50% chance by drive time this evening, as drive time ends, I should say, by around 7 o'clock tonight. So the future cast shows those showers building first along our sea breeze front, forming a line of showers that goes right along the leading edge of that sea breeze, and then those showers kind of drifting back toward the coastline as a few of them become stronger. We'll watch for that. Not a big potential for thunderstorms today, and certainly not a severe weather threat, but still we could see some stronger downpours of rain in inland areas, and we really don't want that. Particularly over the next several days, we don't want to see rain falling over the catchment basins of the Little Manatee or the Horse Creek, because they are just now coming down off of Bankful. And so as we head into the weekend and the potential for heavy rains exists, that could aggravate the flooding situation in and around those rivers, although it's minor flooding forecast if that did happen. So we'll watch those showers kind of dissipate tomorrow. Another round of showers coming our way. Good rain chances again tomorrow. And then on Saturday, we'll watch as that area of disturbed weather down in the Caribbean lifts northward, perhaps intensifies, and produces a line of showers. Now, the core of the heaviest showers forecast to be out in Gulf waters. I do believe that's where it will be. However, we will still see on Saturday rounds of showers moving through the area, so that it'll be a cloudy day, it'll be a rainy day. I think for beach activities, it'll probably be a rain out. And you have the potential of seeing some heavy rains at times move through in waves. Total rainfall amounts over maybe a 3 or 4 day period could be in excess of 4 inches, which is okay. If it got up to a 7-inch or 8-inch rainfall over a 4-day period, then some of those rivers, of course, would have a difficult time handling that. And we could see some low-lying flooding as well. We'll see how it plays out. It's still too early to tell. You know, just because this system is going to be coming up at us from the south, any slight little alteration in its position down here, just off the coast of the Yucatan, would mean a large change in its position as it lifted into central Gulf waters. So that's why we have to watch this day by day and see exactly what the track takes, closer to the state of Florida, further away from the state of Florida, because those two things could make huge impacts on our weekend forecast. So we need to see exactly where it actually forms in order to put a good track on it. But right now, it certainly does look like the consensus of model opinion puts it in the northern Gulf waters, probably closer to Louisiana Delta than to the Suncoast. So we'll go with scattered showers, off and on waves of rainfall over the course of the weekend. The heaviest of the rain probably on Saturday. And then Sunday, maybe even a peek at the sun, but there'll still be showers around. Then, in fact, there'll be, I think, good chances of cloudy conditions right straight through the 3-day weekend. Winds could get a little bit breezy on Saturday. Boaters, take note. We could have some rip current issues. We could also have some slightly higher tides. Better rain chances, watching the tropics. Weekend forecast remains wet. That's your forecast. We're looking at a southeast wind developing to a south wind this evening, and the forecast looks like this. Today, 87, good chances of some rain showers around. Same thing tomorrow, good chances of rain showers. First alert weather day on Saturday, I think, because of those rains, sometimes heavy perhaps, and certainly on and off throughout the day. And then on Sunday, rain showers still around, and we'll carry the rain chances into the weekend, but maybe a little bit more sunshine on Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look at the first alert traffic that is out there this morning. Roads, we do have a couple incidents to tell you about right there in Manatee County. Let's bring up the first of 2 of those that we're checking out this morning. If we can bring those up and take a look at those. We'll tell you about those. First off, at 9th Street, there's a lane blocked right there at 57th Avenue. Again, 9th Street and 57th Avenue, there's a lane blocked. And then we'll tell you about the other one that we've got also in that area. That one's at Talavast Road. There's an accident right there at 301 and Talavast. So there is those are the big things that are going on right now in Manatee County.
Super Bowl sites are officially booked through 2024. The NFL announced Arizona will host in 2023 and New Orleans in 2024. It'll be Arizona's 4th time hosting the championship game and the 11th time for New Orleans. The next Super Bowl will be in Atlanta, followed by Miami, Tampa, and Los Angeles.
All right, check this out. Surprise! A 300-pound alligator has started his holiday weekend a little early. Connie and Frank Schaefer say they were enjoying just a nice cup of coffee at their Sarasota home when they spotted this 9-foot guest doing some flip-flops in their backyard pool. An FWC employee was able to remove the gator in about 20 minutes. But just a reminder, it is still gator mating season, and sometimes they do like to look for love in your backyard pool. Again.
Well said.
I should try that myself.
On that note, let's go right to the break before I start to blush. 10 to 6 right now. There's the scene outside our door. Much more on the situation this weekend with the weather. Stephanie will pull herself together. More news after this.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Watch Good Morning Suncoast, weekdays on ABC7.
We've been following breaking news for you. A shooting that took place.
There is a person of interest.
We are looking at a rainmaker, this cluster of clouds heading toward the state of Florida.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Welcome back. It is 5:53, and here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Construction is now underway on a new parking garage on St. Armand Circle. The city broke ground yesterday on the project that should be complete by December.
Plus, a reminder, it's still alligator mating season, and sometimes they're looking for love in your backyard pool. Check out this 300-pound gator found in the backyard pool of one Sarasota couple.
And the Washington Capitals are going on to the Stanley Cup Finals. They knocked out the Lightning last night 4-0. in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Very sad.
And finally, one last look at the weather from John Scalzi. Got a lot of changes coming over the weekend.
Yes, we do. We're continuing, of course, to watch that area of disturbed weather down in the Caribbean. But of note for today is that plume of tropical moisture is lifting a little bit more over the state of Florida compared to where it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was definitely moving out into the Atlantic. Today, it's lifting a little bit further to the north and kind of shutting off that dry air that was around yesterday. So, better chances of rainfall today. Computer models continue to suggest a track of this cluster of showers and thunderstorms in the Caribbean a little bit more to the west today, perhaps, than it was yesterday. We still have some outlying models taking it closer to the state of Florida, but still, I think the majority of the models are suggesting a northern Gulf Coast hit for the heaviest of the weather of this storm. Nevertheless, we'll continue to monitor it closely because any slight change could greatly influence our weekend weather. We'll go with about a 60% chance of showers today, but your takeaways and what we'll be covering in the next hour is that the better rain chances today will lead to a soggier ground over the next several days, of course, and that leads to the potential that some of the heavier rains with the tropics could lead to some localized flooding. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few.
Boy, that 7 days don't look very sunny right now.
Just kind of goes like that a little bit. Lots of humidity out there this morning, too.
You can tell through your hair?
I know, yeah. It's bigger this morning.
Right. We're going to update the day's top news headlines, have more of John's weekend prediction. But first, leaving out the shot outside our studio, pretty shot there, of the downtown skyline. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.